We are doing mindfulness meditation. Just letting the little music play here. And then we're going to come and go forth with the aspect of mindful meditation. These are some meditation sounds based on frequency. So this is a particular sound. It's called the deep delta isochronic tone. And delta is at a particular frequency. So we're going to shut this down. We're doing mindfulness meditation. I'm Dr. Dennis L. Waters Sr. We're having a discussion about how to do mindful meditation. And when I'm speaking of that, I'm working with individuals who are learning how to bring about their life purposes, their goals, to actually bring it about so that they are producing in their lives what they would like to produce in their lives. That's the entire purpose of what we're doing. And so we're working with them by speaking with them about what we call the 8 A's. The 8 A's. The 8 A's have to do with the aspect of there's awareness, the first step. There is acceptance, the second step. There is assurance, the third step. There is adoration, the fourth step. There is association, the fifth step. There is assignment, the sixth step. There's accountability, the seventh step. And there's assimilation, the eighth step. And we connect that with other theories. And we work with individuals so that they do have accountability. They do have association. They do understand their assignment, the purpose for which they are here, and where they best serve humanity and the world. They understand that they were made to do in a very special and at a very high level a specific thing, and they master that, and as a result of that they're rewarded immensely. One of my clients actually said to me, a very high level realtor in the Washington metropolitan area, said that 2021 was the best year that she has ever had, and she's been in real estate for the past 20 plus years. So that's a great year she had. Awesome. Today we're talking about mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness, say that with me, mindfulness meditation. One more time, mindfulness meditation. And today we're going to talk about what is mindfulness meditation. Again, we have resources that you can get in regard to that. We've got some video that has a friend of mine named Naji, I believe is the pronunciation of his name. I may have that incorrect, but I saw him doing meditation, and he was doing a meditation where he was breathing, talking about the breathing process in regard to meditation, where he has the breathing in to the count of the breathing in to the count of 4, and the breathing out to the count of 6, and then holding the breath out for a count of 2, and then repeating that cycle in regard to that. And I tried that, and I found that it has helped me immensely. This morning, as a matter of fact, I went through the process, and what I'm seeking to do is actually help myself to get it to be automatic. In other words, that my subconscious mind will take over my breathing pattern. That's awesome. I've done it a few times already. It has worked for me really, really well. It has helped me a great deal. And just what I just said is of great consequence to you. Is great consequence to you. Just what I just said. That instruction that I just gave you a few moments ago, you can play that back. Get that instruction. You breathe in to the count of 4. You breathe out to the count of 6. And then you let it stay out for a count of 2. And what happens is that your stomach expands. It's what one person called having a pot belly. But I had not studied that particular idea for the 10 years that I had been practicing meditation. But when I did it, it made one great difference in regard to that. So I'm not trying to rush anybody in regard to this. This takes time. People who study meditation, once they start, they do it for the rest of their lives. So let me go on with what is mindfulness meditation. That's what we're talking about today. What is mindfulness? This particular item says you may be surprised to learn that meditation reaches back for thousands of years. People, of course, in the West or in America may not know that it reaches back for thousands of years. Meditation was practiced in Egypt. It was practiced by Buddhist monks who turned meditation into a spiritual element of their enlightenment. That's how they became enlightened, as we call it. And so when you think of mindfulness meditation, what do you think of? What do you think of in regard to that? What goes through your mind? Do images of religious monks sitting in circles and chanting Om? Is that what you think of? Is that what comes to your mind? Perhaps you're a little skeptical about meditation because, again, we've been taught to pray in the West, but it wasn't necessarily taught to meditate. There are verses in the Bible. We're most familiar with the Bible, the Bible, the Hebrew Christian Bible, Greek Bible. It was written originally the Hebrew language, Aramaic, and then the Greek, written in those languages. That's what we're familiar with for the most part. And there are the sacred texts, of course. But we, in what we call the West, we're familiar with the Bible. And so you will hear me talk about that. But to understand that other places, other people, other cultures had meditation. And this was referenced inside this particular item, is for the aspect that for thousands of years, that the monks of Buddhism, they actually practice meditation. And there are other authors who have written, as I said, and they've talked about meditation practices that were in Egypt. And Egypt is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, true civilization that has ever been on the earth. No question about it. And so that entire thing like that. But let's talk about what mindfulness is not. And you may already know this. You can email me at admin, ADMIN, at real, REL, dash coach, COACH.com. And you can tell me. I don't claim to know everything. I don't claim to know everything. So you can inform me. As a matter of fact, I've listened to some things that I'll share with you. I've read a lot on this, and I practice. I don't always sit still. I don't say that I practice yoga. I've been sitting in the chair. That's how I do mindfulness meditation. So mindfulness is not spending time just thinking about the world and all the wonders of it. That's not mindfulness. It's not contemplating the great deep mysteries of life. That's not mindfulness. It's not some magical practice thoughts to bring good luck to your life. That's not mindfulness. It's not a spiritual practice reserved only for those in the highest connection to their Creator. And it's not daydreaming or fantasizing about what your perfect life looks like. So they're not talking about mindfulness when those things come into play. Well, you may ask, well, why do you teach your client to practice mindfulness? Is so that they can be working with the first level of one, sitting still, and then also getting to the point that they still, STILL, and then also STEEL, still their minds, their thoughts, so that they can gain an understanding of what it is that is rushing through their mind. The speed of the conscious mind is one thing. That's about 7 thoughts that can go through your mind at any one time. Beyond that, it can be very confusing for an individual. But the subconscious mind may be processing hundreds or thousands of thoughts at one time. There are so many things. Just look at your own television and see how many things, or just become aware of how many things are scrolling across the screen on any monitor that you might look at. And then ask yourself, cut it off, ask yourself, what did you just see? What did you just hear? And see how many of those things you can actually recall. That's a part of this aspect of being mindful. And so this is the thing that we want them to begin to understand what it is. That's what it means, mindfulness, as far as I'm concerned. There may be other things that individuals are working with, but it is for me becoming aware. It is for me becoming aware. So it's not daydreaming or fantasizing. It's the first step in really paying attention. Paying attention. First step in paying attention. Mindfulness and meditation in the modern world may have some of these. That's what it goes on to say. And as I said, I'll email this to you. Just send me an email, or better yet, I print it out, because if I email it, it may lose its particular formatting. But it may have some of these ideas with it, the whole mystical connotation. But mindfulness is actually much simpler. And that's why we're beginning with it. In simple terms, mindfulness and meditation are ways to achieve a calmer state of mind. And just by itself, that can help a lot of people. There are people with all kinds of stress, emotional disorder, if you want to call it that. People are dealing with, as we said, all kinds of mental health issues. That just stealing your mind, STILL, stealing your mind, or bring your mind to a point where it stops thinking all of these thoughts. And sometimes, many times, they have been programmed into you by some other entity, some other person, some other thing, whatever it may be. Stealing your mind, it would be helpful, because some of these things are suggesting that you would be sick. They're suggestions that you would be sick, or that you buy something that is for someone who is sick, and that as a result of that, there are all kinds of things that can happen. So mindfulness is essentially a sub-form of meditation, or it is a form of meditation, but it's just one level of that. And it says, although mindfulness originated with the non-Western practitioners ages ago, it's cultivated and studied by scientists, psychologists, and doctors all over the world. And again, one of the things that comes to play here is that in the West, we like to count. We talk about being a capitalistic society. Well, that has to do with money. Money want to count. We got pennies, nickels, dimes. We have dollars, a number of different levels of having dollars. So we like to count. And so we didn't do necessarily the things that had to do with mindfulness. But today, when you actually practice this, there are biofeedback mechanisms that we have. There are all kinds of things that can actually give a accounting of the level and the degree that one is practicing mindfulness. So all of this stuff becomes important. All of this stuff becomes important. What about you? What if you had, say, high blood pressure and you wanted to lower your A1C? It may be at 9, or it may be above 7 or above 6, and you want to bring it down. You want to bring it down. And you think about, I'm an African-American male, and there's that whole discussion in regard to African-American males and the whole aspect about our high blood pressure. Well, I've been to the doctor, and I've got that report previously. And I determined that I was going to do what the doctor told me that I needed to do. And I was going to actually bring my A1C down. And I did. My last report was very good. Actually, every one of those things were very good. And so I would encourage individuals to expect this. So it's not just about a few things, it's about a lot of things. So when it comes to this, it has all the things that we can talk about, the mystical connotations and all of that. But it has very practical use as well. How do we define mindfulness? In order to achieve the inner peace that mindfulness can bring us, it's important to consider what the actual practice of mindfulness is. John Kabat-Zinn, who is largely credited with bringing the popularity of mindfulness to the United States and refining it through his renowned mindfulness-based stress reduction program at the University of Massachusetts Medical Center, defines mindfulness in this way. He said mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. Paying attention at a particular moment, he doesn't say how long that moment may be or how short, doing that on purpose, in the moment, and not being judgmental. That's what mindfulness is. It could be for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. But you're doing it in a particular way. You're doing it on purpose. And you're being non-judgmental. That's what mindfulness is. The Chinese calligraphy for mindfulness is made up of two different characters. The top character means presence. The bottom one means heart. Therefore, mindfulness literally means the presence of the heart. The presence of the heart. Mindfulness is experiencing and focusing on the present moment. What's in this present moment right now? We would say, take a breath. Exhale. Take a breath. Slowly exhale. Being present right now. Whether we're conscious of it or not, we always focus on things and events of the future. We're constantly looking forward to the last day of the week, many people. And while we're at work, we're making our plans for the weekend. And we look forward to summer vacation. We look forward to the holidays. We look forward to the birthdays. We look forward to the end of the day. And then we go to sleep. What about the moment that we're in right now? Take a breath. Exhale. Take a breath. Exhale. In a sense, we're never truly focused on the present moment, which is the purpose that mindfulness teaches us. Mindfulness is a way to focus on the present moment, to create an awareness, an acute, keen, specific consciousness of ourselves, and to center ourselves right now in the present, not sometime in the future. Jan Kabat-Zinn said, the best way to capture moments is to pay attention. This is how we cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness means being awake. It means knowing that you are here now, right now. It means knowing what you're doing right now in this moment. Blessing. We'll come back. Take care.